This story happened back in 2015. I was dating this guy, we'll call him Jeff. We had been together for a little over 2 years, and we even had a child together. After having our son, I hadn't gone out in over a year. So when we finally decided to hit a bar with some friends, I was actually excited. One of the people we invited was Anne, the mother of my childhood best friend. Over the years, she became like a second mom to me. So when she started dating my older brother, it felt like everything just fit. It made sense to double date. The night started off great. Drinks, music, laughter. Everything felt normal, until I turned around and Jeff was gone. I asked Anne if she'd seen him, and without hesitation, she said she'd go look for him. At that point, I was way past buzzed, and the few minutes I waited felt like forever. Eventually, I decided to go look for them myself. Outside, there was a smoking area, just a narrow alley between buildings, with a tarp hanging at the back, blocking part of it off. Something about it felt off, but I walked over anyway. Then I saw it. 2 sets of feet, facing each other. Close. Too close. My heart dropped. I pulled back the tarp, and there they were. Jeff, backed against the wall, and pressed up against him. The moment she saw me, she jumped back like she'd been burned and rushed past me without saying a word, heading straight back into the bar. Back to my brother. Jeff just stood there, silent, his face bright red. And me? I was so drunk, so confused, I couldn't even fully process what I had just walked in on. Was I overreacting? Maybe they were just hugging. Maybe I misunderstood? But then Jeff avoided me for the rest of the night, like I didn't exist. And that's when the feeling really set in. Something wasn't right. The ride home was painfully quiet. I pretended to be asleep just so I wouldn't have to look at him, or see whatever guilt was written all over his face. I didn't want to believe it. Not him. Not the man I loved. Not the father of my child. The next morning, I drove him to work. Trying to play it cool, I said. I had the craziest dream last night. That you and Anne kissed. He looked at me and said, "We did kiss." My heart stopped. Then, after a few seconds, he laughed. "I'm just messing with you, lighten up." I forced a laugh, even though something in my chest didn't sit right. I told myself I was overthinking it. Until later that day, I picked him up for his lunch break, and the energy was completely different. He got into the car looking heavy, guilty. I asked what was wrong, thinking maybe I could help. Then he said it. "Remember this morning when I said I was joking?" I wasn't. We made out last night. Everything in me snapped. I was furious, hurt, disgusted, and as if things couldn't get any worse right after he said that. She drove past us. Then my phone rang. It was Anne. I answered. "Hey, what are you guys doing tonight?" "I'm making fried chicken, you should come over." I couldn't even believe what I was hearing. So I asked her directly, "Did you kiss Jeff last night?" She paused, then said, "What? Who told you that?" "Jeff did." And she goes, "Do you know how drunk I'd have to be to do something like that?" I almost laughed. "Clearly not that drunk, you had 3 beers and water." Then I said the only thing left to say, "Don't ever contact me again. And I'll be telling my brother everything." My brother ended up dumping her, not long after everything came out. As for me, I wish I could say I left immediately, but I didn't. I stayed with Jeff for another 4 months before finally walking away for good. But here's where it gets interesting. The real ending? I ended up marrying Anne's son, the same guy Jeff could never stand. And now, we have 2 beautiful children together. Life really has a funny way of working itself out. And Anne? She moved on too. She's now dating some rich guy. And they're still together to this day. From the outside, everything looks perfect. Like she's this completely different person. But the truth is I know who she was before all of that. So if she ever decides to get a little too comfortable or cross any lines as a mother-in-law, let's just say, I got a little something saved. Just in case she ever gets froggy.